What is up? It is me. It is I. I am the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. I am greatness personified. Myself. Yes, yes. Stoney Greatness. Oh, yes. And I am here with the man of the hour, the myth, the legend, the activist, the author, the conqueror, the educator, the entertainer, the man of many talents.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So show some respect and bend the knee because they come from all across the world to see. The man who wears the crown that hangs 2 inches from the ground. Mm-hmm. He is your king. He is my king. He is King Kevyn!
Oh, there they go. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all so much for joining us for another great episode of the Great Mind Show. Happy to be here another Sunday. Before we get started, y'all know what we say. Go subscribe.
Yes,
join
like,
the
share,
conversations.
all that junk.
Yeah, so join the comments. What's up, Pop? I see you. Yeah, also share this with other people so that way they can join in our conversations.
Right.
You guys know we're doing a review.
Because everybody watches RuPaul's Drag Race.
It's an Emmy award-winning show again.
Yes.
What's up, Nas? Oh, wow. The whole crew coming together.
Thanks.
I love that.
Hey.
It's good to see y'all coming in. But yeah, so we are reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race season 16. We're on episode 4. Remember last week, Hershey Liqueur Jete has been eliminated, so we're down to 13 girls. And we're ready to get into this episode.
Yes. So,
what's up, Gatlin?
It is the acting episode. So last week we had the ball, mother of all balls. All right. And now this week we had RDR Live. So the first time that RDR Live is making an appearance on the regular Drag Race. So this is her story here. All right, because RDR Live has only been on the All-Star season. Last year making its debut, with All Stars. So it was a very, very popular episode. So they decided to migrate it over and put it in the real comp. So be prepared to see this as a regular competition moving forward. So RDR Live, basically sketch comedy. They had to it's basically a parody of SNL Live, but with drag queens. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And so they had to pick roles. And that was the big thing there. There was a few fireworks.
A little controversy here and there.
A few fireworks.
I guess, do you want to just highlight certain moments of that?
Because
I think every time there's an acting thing and you have to pick roles, they kind of sabotage each other. But I think in some sense it kind of worked in the favor of one person, and another person sabotaged themselves.
Yeah. So we so the big dust up of the role exchange was that you had Plasma, who wanted to be a part of the newsroom sketch. And if you're familiar with SNL, you know that there's always you have Weekend Update Live, where they do parodies of the news and things of that nature. Well, they did one, they're doing one on RDR Live, and Plasma wanted one of the roles. So unfortunately for Plasma, a mandatory meeting, Dawn and Q all wanted to be a part of that skit because there's 3 roles. And so Dawn wanted one of the news anchors, and so they wanted the
same one that Plasma
wanted the one that Plasma wanted. Yeah. And so they kind of, I would say not bullied, but pushed,
firmly pushed,
Plasma to take a role in another skit where it was a musical group of Barbra Streisand.
Now here's the thing that kind of seems a little confusing, because Plasma embodies that era of music and entertainment. she is a big fan of Barbra Streisand anyway. Her rationale was, I don't want to just do this because people say this is what I embody. I want to, show y'all that I got more than just this bit.
That I have range and stuff like that. Right.
So it's interesting that she now is kind of like pushed, sort of, because she couldn't get the news anchor role, which I would have been interested to see her in that role. But nonetheless, she got the singing role, which that's something that she does. So it works.
Yeah. So, needless to say, Plasma ended up getting the Barbara, going into the Barbara sketch, and so breaking down, and then the only other dust up of substance involved Sapphira Crystal and Mirage, as far as who wanted to be the host and then who didn't want to be the host. But Sapphira ended up succeeding that role, and it seemed
Mirage wanted to be the host, but then Sapphira said, "No, I want to be the host." But then Sapphira said, "Well, if you want to be the host, go ahead and be the host," because she knew that she could be wherever she landed.
Right.
And then when Sapphira gave up being the host, Mirage started to second guess if she wanted to be the host, and that's where she self-sabotaged at that point.
Right. So going over what happened in RDR Live, we had an opening sketch with Tsunami Muse, Morphine Love Dion, Geneva Carr.
I was wondering what you was about to call Morphine.
Yeah.
Deluxe.
Morphine Love Dion. It's a mouthful. Sure she likes one.
Wow.
Geneva Carr and Maya Iman LePage. All right. So those are the opening sketch, and you want to talk about the opening sketch and your opinions of the opening sketch. So basically, it was like a, how Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen do the New Year's thingy. Well, it was the end of the world basically, and so they were important, and they were all Drag Race parodies of like Don Lemon and and Lindsey Graham was even in there.
Anderson
Cooper. They were all drag versions of those people.
Were supposed to be
supposed to be. So there was people there that were okay. You're oh, we got a call?
No, we don't. No, we don't have a call.
We don't got a caller.
No,
it's not that show anymore. We do not.
Throwback.
It's not that show anymore.
Hey, Mom.
So, what did you think of the opening sketch?
So, if I were being 100% honest, it flew by so fast, and like their parts to me seemed so small. The most significant thing I can remember was Geneva Carr flopping with the Lindsey Graham, and Maya in the hurricane, because that actually made me laugh.
That was actually funny, but it wasn't necessarily good. Geneva was terrible and
horrible,
and they made it a point this episode to really tell their like Geneva's backstory as well as Tsunami Muse's backstory, because they are dreamers. And for folks who don't know what dreamers are, those are folks who are who basically were bought here from other countries as a young person, never became fully legal, but they've lived pretty much their entire life here. This is all that they know. They are in pretty much Americans, like outside of paper, like so. And then you have DACA, where they get certain privileges and things of that nature, but that's like has to be given back to them by the government and renewed every year and stuff like that. So they were talking about their struggles and things of that nature. I just found it ironic that she didn't know who Lindsey Graham was, because if you know anything about politics, you know who. Are we good? Yeah. If you know anything about politics, you know that Lindsey Graham is not your friend, especially if you're a DACA person, or not
it's
a
hard
rich
to say,
white
especially
person.
if you are it's like with that person, and
if you're not a rich white person, Lindsey Graham is not your friend, and doesn't represent your interest. So yeah, it was a little disturbing that you didn't know that,
because I feel like, one, had she known that, she really could have like did the pun out of that.
Oh yeah, because Lindsay Lindsay is something.
There's a lot to work with if you're going to do a pun off of who that person is.
Because just how he sounds is something crazy. I tell you what, he sounds like this, and
could you imagine like if she did like a little stiff version of him, but in drag?
But a whole drag queen, Lindsey Graham.
Yes, but
talking about his meemaw and how his meemaw used to make, you know, the cutest dresses for his cousin Esther, but he was always jealous because he had to wear pants and he didn't want to wear pants, meemaw. I want to wear a dress like Esther. But Meemaw said no, so I became a senator to tell people that you can't wear dresses either.
Yo, that was perfect. Lord, we're working on it. Okay. We're working on it. That was perfect, Stoney. That was chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That was good. Thank you for that.
If you liked it, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff like that. Yeah, come back every Sunday, live at 5.
So yeah, that whole opening sketch to me was a big blah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they needed to put something in that space, and there they were.
Yeah,
it wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, no,
the point. It was not entertaining.
It was not entertaining. It was just disappointing with the whole. Yeah. And then the host came out, Mirage, for the host opening monologue. Flat.
The entire everything. Like her walking in was just dry. There was no special lights or no music or anything. It was just like, "Hi, I'm Mirage, and I'm the host of RDR Live, and
I'm gonna tell some jokes about the other queens.
I'm gonna try to tell some jokes about the other queens." So
he said
it. But that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew that though.
Right.
It's not like she didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, Roscoe is saying this isn't like with All Stars 8. Candy sold it being the host.
Yes.
Candy actually did a really good job.
Yeah, she came out and it felt like she was actually the host.
Yeah, it felt like I was at a real sketch comedy show.
Right, yeah.
It was not the same energy.
No, it was definitely, I'm hosting here at this local bar.
No, because I feel like she would have to put more energy so that people could actually hear her.
Well, there's only 5 people in the audience.
Well, have you ever been to any of the local bars in Vegas?
No.
I got married in one once.
Oh. Are they packed all the time?
Packed. Okay.
They empty?
They're like the neighbor. So it was like a neighborhood bar, but it was in the desert, and it was pretty empty.
Oh, okay.
That's
there
how
you go.
I was able to get married. Edit.
There you go.
Well, that's a story Mirage, for another time.
Well, then that's what Mirage's host expectations are. So then we had the deck ad sketch.
So we saw this last season, or All Stars with Jimbo and Alexis Watt.
Yeah, Jessica.
Jessica
Wyatt.
I think that should be an all-star only type of challenge. And put it on the screen for y'all. But that's another conversation. RDL was underwhelming overall for me.
Yeah, I think that we can definitely revisit that at the end of the season when we do the recap. You know, we might want to pin that and everything. Thank you, Roscoe, out there being a wonderful, wonderful Drag Race fan.
Yes.
Kudos on your game. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, what was the Jimbo and Jessica Wild skit? Like it was
lawn care.
So it was lawn care. And this one is about decks or whatever.
Decks,
so it was literally same
thick
setup
and long.
Supposed
deck.
to be
now I did love
Bimbos doing like a whole bunch of puns and stuff.
I do got to say I love that one nuance that they came up with as far as them saying the thick and long. Like, you know what I mean? Like I love that. Like that was okay. That so right there was
bouncing off of each
right
other.
There.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Okay, give you that.
Because they like, you know, Jessica and Jimbo were too autonomous. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but they did play off of each other.
Yeah, that's true.
But they were like Megami and freaking Plain Jane were like this. throughout the sketch. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, you know, Jimbo and Jessica were like this, you know, creating beautiful applause. You know what I mean? And it worked. But I do feel like, you know, Megami and
they gave
were
us
like
levels.
This.
They gave it depth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give them.
Although
I did not like Plain Jane's
exactly
performance.
Go ahead.
I feel
Speak
like
on it, brother.
she was trying to be Jimbo.
I felt it was Jimbo's performance.
Because it was just one note, and when you know what you're doing, like you could play.
And
on
if you
that
don't
note.
believe us, go back YouTube it. You know, so RDR Live All Stars. You can literally you can put Jimbo's right next to Plain Jane's in that same thing, same exact person.
Yeah. But I was about to say, like, when you're a master at it, you could take that kind of drab type of comedy and actually dance around with it and like take it places. It was just like a flatline almost, and it wasn't entertaining to me.
So that was that. You know, but kudos to both Megami and Plain Jane. I mean, it was a solid sketch. I mean, nothing.
All right. So do you feel like, I'm taking it back real quick to Jimbo and Jessica. Do you think that one carried that sketch more than the other?
No.
All right. Now, this one, do you feel like somebody carried the sketch more than the other?
No.
No?
No.
I was more entertained by Ross Matthews being in it than I was by And tell me where's the lie.
No, and then they had Kasha Davis in their scene as far as Jimbo did.
Right.
Because Kasha Davis was,
and she was good.
She was good in that little role right there, as the person, the testimonial, the customer testimonial. But that was So I mean, it was a solid sketch. It was a solid, drag race sketch. You know what I mean? So then we get to the news desk sketch, which has Dawn in a mandatory meeting as Anchor 1 and Anchor 2, and then we had Q come in as the brick from the Stonewall riots and things of that nature. And if you're watching our show, you should already know what the Stonewall riots are. If you are watching our show and you do not know what the Stonewall riots are, Google it.
Please Google it.
All right. But anyway, you know the story about a brick and what it did. So yes, we got to hear from the brick during that skit. And it was great. Q's performance was great. Anything to add?
Amanda and Dawn did good. They did good. You know, they gave the banter. They told the news. Lady Bunny died again. Yeah, just as dry as this moment is.
And I love Dawn. You know what I mean? I love Dawn.
And I love Amanda.
And I like Amanda too. Amanda. I do. It is.
But then comes the brick.
Yes.
And the brick stole the show.
Yes.
And I stand with Q, aka the brick, when she said, "What about me?" Because that was the show for me. Like, I see Roscoe said that was his favorite out of all the skits. Because I love the music of it all, I really did enjoy the music part a little bit more.
We'll get to that.
This was a solid skit.
Yes.
Like, Amanda and Dawn did what they were supposed to do.
Yes, they were there and they did the role.
But Q understood what the role was coming in.
Q put on the show
as the character witness. And she took the show.
Yes. So that's our take on the news desk sketch. And then we got to the Barbara sketch. All right, where we had Plasma, Nymphia Wind, and Sapphira Crystal. You know, being a group of singing Barbara impersonators, and it was, when I tell you that sketch. That's why I don't. Was a SNL quality sketch.
Right.
that sketch was an SNL quality sketch. Roscoe, I get what you were saying as far as RDR Live as a whole. This go round wasn't as good as the All Stars as a whole go round, but that sketch right there was some SNL level sketching right there, and that was great from all three. All three parties on that sketch were phenomenal. What's that say?
Oh, yes, that was an excellent sketch.
It was. Thank you. Who agreed?
That's Rex track.
Thank you, Rex.
But the musical.
Go ahead. Tell us about how much you enjoyed this sketch, because I just told.
Back to our intro when we talked about Plasma not wanting to be stereotyped or typecast, but when she was, she knew exactly what to do.
She did.
She killed it.
She did what needed to be done.
Literally. And you know, the fun part about that is she's not in our top 3 at all, but she was with 2 of our top 3, and she held her own. Hell, she shined brighter in that moment.
In that moment, yes. In that moment. Let's be clear. In that moment. That moment.
But she did what she had to do in that moment, and it's not to take ounce of anything away from Nymphia or Saphira.
No, because they all stood their ground. Like, they were far, like, those 3 performances right there, besides Q's, like, those were the best performances of the night.
Wait. Remind me again, what did Plain Jane do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she did the ad. She did the ad. What? Yeah, the thick and line.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. See exactly. So I get it. You know, I get it.
Because, like, with Plasma, Nymphia,
she did eat up on the runway. That's the thing that got her up there. We didn't get there yet, but yes.
But like with Plasma, Nymphia, and Saphira, the 3 of them together are, like, they're all professionals.
Oh, and they killed it.
They are all talented.
They all played their individual part. Like, it was 3 individual people that kind of got together and they were together, you know, when they were singing together. Oh my gosh. Entertaining. Yes. Each had their own individual vibe. It told a story.
Okay, can we just call them DC3? Because that was Destiny's Child of drag, in my opinion. Because they all had their own individual powers, but they blended together so well. Like, no, at least for that episode.
For that episode, yes.
For that episode, we got to give them DC3. From a judge's POV, I can understand why she won. Because when you have 2 front runners and you stand out instead of fading into the background, you deserve that win.
Yes. Yes.
Well said.
And just to let you guys in on the secret, if you didn't know, Plasma ended up winning the Maxi Challenge. You know, because Roscoe did, already. You know what I mean? But yes. No, it was absolutely phenomenal. The runway, this
Night
episode
of 1,000 shares.
Yes. Whoa. And we couldn't snap out of it. It was amazing. I don't know. I'm great.
That's so stupid.
Oh my gosh.
When Ru says that is so stupid at something, it really ain't. But that is so fucking stupid.
That was. And I tell you what, we'll get into that too. But yeah, so and so
oh god.
So who were your best looking shares and who were your worst looking shares?
I'm still stuck on this Maya thing. We'll get there. My best, honestly, I think I loved. I don't know why I keep going back to Megami because I really liked hers. Saphira, obviously. I kind of need a refresher. I can't remember everybody's.
Well, you know you remember the top 3, right, of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like theirs?
Of course.
Okay.
That's why they're the top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay. So yeah, no. So yeah, so the top three for the episode were Q again,
Right.
Plasma,
Yeah.
and Plain Jane.
Yeah.
Okay, those were the top three according to the judges.
Right.
In my opinion, it should have been Q, Plasma, and either one of Sapphira and Nymphia.
Right.
You know, it would have
Honestly,
been
I was
either one of
surprised
them.
that they were just safe.
Right. I was very surprised that they
Because
were
they
just safe.
like that whole
Yeah.
group was strong.
Mhm.
No one did better than them either.
Right.
So that's why
Only
I'm like,
person that did better than them was Q. Other than that, those
Right.
three were the other
Right.
three best performances.
Right.
Like so, like yeah, I didn't understand Plain Jane's placement. I mean, granted, her Cher look was beautiful.
yes,
It was absolutely beautiful. I would have had the wig longer.
we were talking
Yeah.
about Amanda. That's what you was asking me about,
Mhm.
like my favorites or least favorites.
Mhm.
I actually liked Amanda's look. I just wish that her hair was something different. Like,
Right.
I understand she was given
It should have been
Cher,
longer too.
but the hair wasn't given
Yeah.
enough for it to be drag
Mhm.
Cher.
Right. Yeah. That I would say that it was one of Maya's best runways of the season thus
Yeah,
far.
yes.
But the hair was a bit drab. You know,
And I
should
said
have
the
been
same
bigger.
thing about Plain Jane's hair.
Yeah. It was, and that seems to be a running theme with this group in the season. I mean, let us know if you've noticed that, because we've been saying drag up the hair, and these queens have been giving us, you know, Target lady hair. So you know, I don't know. Am I bugging? Are we bugging? Because
I've been saying it already, and it's become very apparent. And the problem is, you have people who do understand the assignment, and they're showing you what you should be doing, and they're still not getting it.
Yeah. And even if you don't do the big hair, you gotta, hey, do like Q.
That's what we were getting to. So I've discovered that Q's thing is headpieces. You have not seen her wear big hair yet. I mean, she's had wigs and stuff like that, but her thing is these extravagant looking pieces that she makes, and she does an amazing job. So I get it. But she, even with that, she's showing you that it should still be big and grand. So it's like you gotta catch on, girls, with these like bone thin wigs. I kind of really, as much as it hurts me to say this or pains me to say this, I really liked Maya's look. It was the hair that was missing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And then after that, you get Megami coming out with the big Cher hair, the way it's supposed to be. Or you get freaking Sapphira, who comes out with the big shoulders with the feathers and the big afro, but all in homage to Cher. It was like, that's drag. Ladies and gentlemen, all you other girls who are doing this, they're showing you what to do.
Yes, absolutely. What is that question down there?
Do you think Rue was nitpicking on Mirage hair for her runway? I say yes.
I say yes.
I say yes.
I say yes.
And
that comes from, you know, the fact that it's personal with Rue. You know what I mean?
We were just talking about like how his daughter hates like a cartoon that we grew up on and we love, and it's a classic because honestly, this cartoon was around before we were. Our parents grew up on these cartoons. Right. But when we came along, we kind of caught on, and it meant something to us. And now his daughter's like,
I want YouTube.
I don't want that. What's that?
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't get it. But it's so Rue's like, why would you put a 60s, I mean a 70s look on a 60s hairstyle?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like you did it wrong. But I mean, did it look good? Yes,
it looked absolutely. She looked beautiful, you know. Like,
but because the era didn't match the dress or the hair or whatever, it was like
and it's because it's RuPaul's Cher. You know what I mean? Like RuPaul has a special relationship with Cher in her head. You know what I mean? Like, and granted, they may be cool in real life because they famous people now. But
Rex would like to know what cartoon.
Oh, Looney Tunes. You know, the classics. The classics.
Rex also said, I'm Rue's age, so I saw it, but it was picky.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it was
And that's
Mickey.
coming from somebody who is Rue's age, who has that same relationship with Cher, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Okay. So you got some perspective to offer us then,
Right.
because like there's the eras, and I think like a lot of gay people claim a mega female artist and idolize and makes her their god, and you can't say anything like, don't talk about Swift, don't be a or come at the Swifties, or come at the Beehive or the Barbs, or like people are that loyal to their idols, honestly.
Right.
So in our mind it's like it's not that big of a deal, but in Rue's mind it's like, no, like that's Cher.
Yeah.
We don't mess up Cher.
Right. Like how a lot of these young gays are going to be with Beyonce. Like when the really
Right.
young, like on season 42 of RuPaul's Drag Race, when it's
RuPaul will
hosted
be
by Jinx Monsoon
no,
at that
RuPaul will be a hologram at that point.
Yeah, it's like RuPaul's a hologram on there, but Jinx Monsoon is hosting it. Like, like, or Bianca Del Rio or Bob the Drag Queen, you know what I mean? One of those. Like, they're hosting it at that point in time. And, like, they do a Beyonce thing, and somebody puts, crazy in love hair with, for like with a formation outfit, and they're gonna be, you can't do that, it's not Beyonce. And then we're gonna be like, shut up. Like, it's gonna be great.
Like,
watch, we need to like make sure y'all save this, because we're gonna be reliving this.
Do I see BB hosting the show? No, I don't.
In about 15 years, play this back.
Right. Wait, Rex said, I don't know the singers are who the singers are today. Only a few big names. Don't worry, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, no.
I'm in the
Ice
same
Spice
boat.
and
Who?
I don't know. It's a drink, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna get started because y'all gonna really start hating me if I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
and Suki Hana, who likes eating butt, apparently.
So
you can get behind that, but
hold on, let's get back on task. We just got totally sidetracked. It's y'all fault. Y'all got us going way left with this conversation.
We not old heads.
We got passionate. We had to prove we
Watch your mouth.
Anyway, so clearly the winner of this week's episode was Plasma. And I again believe that she deserved to win that episode. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. Hold on, I'm putting this one up on the screen.
What was that?
Oh wait, where did it go? Here we go. Kareem says, or y'all could host that joint in the future.
Hey, there's an idea. Viacom always striking us, so y'all know they watching, and if not, share it with them. Tag them in it. Yep. We can host it.
We can.
That'd be entertaining.
I think Q should have won, says Roscoe. I think that Q could have won it.
I'm loving this Susan Lucci narrative, though. And how great would it be to see her go through all the entire season, placing in the top every single week, but coming up a hair short every single time, and makes it to the finals, not winning a doggone thing, but being in the top every single goddamn week.
But you know what? That could be something to be said, and she could actually win this.
Exactly.
So it's like
it'd be a Susan Lucci story. That could be a thing that they might be making.
What's up, Grip? Oh, I'm sorry. That's my buddy Morris. Now in New Orleans. But yeah, so I'd be interested to see if like Q just because I don't know that it's a bad thing to like coast by at second place. Oh gosh, you guys are giving us a lot. I think Plasma just had the strength of really doing Barbara really good.
And if you do it well, y'all know me, Stoney Greatness, and the first rule of House Greatness is to never hate on greatness, and you appreciate greatness in all its forms, because greatness is a rarity here. So, you appreciate in all its forms. And when you do something well, I salute you for it. Do it well, and I encourage you to do it as many times as you want. Because tell you one thing: plasma is going to make money from here on out.
Oh yeah.
And then people are going to ask to do the barber. Lady, do the barber. If they're throwing money at you to do the barber, and do it good.
Let's also just highlight this. According to Roscoe, I mean, no shade. Play to your advantage. Rue loves the old musicals and singers. It just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Rue doesn't like when the girls don't know certain references too, and you know that Plasma got the references down.
Yeah.
So
that's the old school references down.
Mm-hmm. So like this was an episode for her, literally.
Yeah.
It was like the blessing in disguise. She wanted to be, and that's why it's like I would be interested to see what she would have done as a news anchor.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, you wouldn't have won this episode if you were.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would have won. Not at all. So now we are on to in the bottom three queens this week.
Okay.
Mirage,
Geneva
Carr, and Maya Iman LePage.
Do you agree with this ranking?
Absolutely. This based off of the performances in this episode. Absolutely.
Do you guys? What's up, Reggie? Do you guys agree with the ranking this episode? Do you think that these three girls should have been in the bottom? Mirage, Geneva Carr, and Amaya Iman LePage. All right, we got a yes. We got a yes out there.
Yeah, we got a few yeses. All right, good job. So yeah, that's what it was. And then we had the judges' deliberations, and then when the judges came back, RuPaul made some decisions. Okay, and in the who were lip syncing for their lives was Geneva Carr and Mirage. Dun dun dun. Lot of shocked faces on the queens behind. I think that they felt like Maya should have been in the bottom two. So that'll be interesting to see if that's addressed when we get to the back next week. Yeah,
because I feel like Maya definitely could have been in the bottom two, but I also feel like Geneva deserved to be in that spot.
Yeah,
like the first time she was in the bottom, I don't think that she deserved to have been in the bottom.
Right.
It was just voted that way. This time she deserved to have been in the bottom, but she wasn't going to be in the bottom without a fight. So do we just get to it now?
Oh gosh.
Talk about this lip sync.
Oh gosh.
Let's go there.
Geneva lip synced.
Mirage did some stunts. They were cool.
Now look, hey, I like Mirage. I do. I thought Mirage was very I think Mirage is very pretty. I think Mirage has a lot of talent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You gotta have some sort of natural talent being from Vegas because entertainment is everywhere for people. So you got to stand out, and I think Mirage stands out. But it is a lip sync. You got to do your homework, and as much as a performer, and the thing about it is the whole time I'm looking at Mirage, but because she's performing, and she's doing it. But then it's like I'm getting slapped in the face because you don't know the words. It's like you turn around and it is like,
apparent. And you know how they play those tricks of like, no, you know how they do the tricks where like, I don't know the words right now, so I'm gonna do a stunt where I turn around,
turn my face to the side.
She turned around when there was nothing to be said, and as soon as the words started, she turned back towards the front, towards the camera, and towards to the judges. It was like, yeah, girl, you didn't.
Nope. And then she missed the click clack, and like she did a whole talent show about her being click clackety, like the queen of click clacking.
I would have been clacking and clicking,
I know, especially when
cloaking.
You got clack clack. I mean clacking. Like what I mean, bringing it back to my stick. Trying to make Rue laugh at the same time as giving her a show.
Exactly. Like while you make you laugh and keep myself on this show. But,
especially if you don't know the words. Lady, you got to throw some extra sizzle on.
Yeah, because actually, when you think about the competition in this episode, Mirage could have definitely sailed by with her performance versus the blunder of Geneva Carr.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely could have just been like, okay, I didn't do my best, but I can save myself with this lip sync.
Right. All she had to do was just know 60% of the words and put on a good show.
You know what
and
else
Geneva's going home.
You know what the other thing was? It was her confidence, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if she would have been more confident, even if she did, because I keep talking about freaking Jada Essence Hall. She cannot act. Her most famous moment came from her not knowing how to act.
Mm-mm.
She tried to distract. The spotlight was on her, and she said, "Look over there."
Mm-hmm.
So
and it worked because
it became a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like you just gotta have that confidence and go for it.
Right.
But anyway, so now that Mirage was sent home, before I can even talk about after and we do our ranking, we have to stop because when Ru told her to sashay away,
oh
baby, it became group therapy 101.
Mm-hmm. Like she was breaking down, like distraught.
She had an intervention.
Right, and I get it. And we were having a discussion before we went on the air because it was like dramatic and everything. And I was like, I know it's dramatic, but I understand how that feels because my first real, like, and I lost things like it before, but it was never something that I really invested in. Like my very first year playing football, I was telling the kid, like, I was actually good at it. Never played it before, but I was actually good at it. And our team was actually good, and we made it to the playoffs. And then we actually won a playoff game my first year. Oh my God. Like, and then we was one game away from the championship. What? Like, I was on cloud 9. It was my first year, and then we get to that semifinal game, and we lose. We lose. Like, it was the most heartbreaking moment, like, of my life. Like I could, like, that. I've never felt any bigger pain from a loss than that loss right there.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did learn from that was that there was next year. And I get it that for that, and you got to put yourself in her situation because there isn't a next year because there's no guarantee that you'll be invited back for All Stars.
Right.
It's not like you Shangela.
Right. Yeah.
Or you broke a bone like Eureka. You know what I mean? Like,
or you didn't have a big enough moment.
Right. So like, you might feel like this is it for me. And
she might get an All-Star.
She might.
Maybe like several years down the
line. I feel like yeah, like I definitely wouldn't mind, 2 years from now seeing Mirage come back on an All-Star season. Yeah, because I would not mind it.
Then she's had time to do more.
Right, go on tour,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
because this is just the beginning, like Ru said, it's just the beginning.
I want to acknowledge what Rex said. I saw Michelle besides just what you're packing, and Mirage just said her emotional wall just burst, and I get that. That too. Yeah, like especially when you're in competition mode, you don't really have time to get emotional because you got to jump on the very next thing that happened, and then you got to deal with the stress that's coming at you. Right, it's like it builds up. I get it. So, at some point, and her at some point was on stage after Ru told her to sashay away. So now we can talk about our rankings.
Our rankings. It is now time for the official.
And a special shout out to Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yes, Sarah Michelle Gellar, great judge, great guest judge.
Our resident Buffy Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, love Buffy, love Daphne.
Yeah,
Mrs. Freddie Prinze Jr. We love Freddie Prinze Jr. Love Freddie Prinze Jr. He's great.
All right, so a couple of my rankings did shift a little bit because yes, right. She needs to come back. She was one of the best judges in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know I loved her this. I knew I loved her, but I didn't know I loved her that much. So yes, my rankings kind of like shifted a bit. Top 3 are still the top 3.
Yes.
It's just who's number 1, number 2, number 3. That shifts a little bit.
Yep, my top 3, of course. Like you'll see, my top 3 has not shifted personally, but it's now more in line.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
We're now in line. He's come to the light.
So let me just start with my number one and why this person is my number one. Before I tell who the person is, I'll tell why they're my number one right now.
Uh-huh.
Because this person is consistent and consistently breaking new records and like showing things. And the thing is, this person is so on point when they're in drag, and when they're not in drag, they're always on top. And it's like, damn, can they do any wrong? And I don't think that they can. I really don't think that it's possible for them to slip. I think in any challenge that we're going to see, they're going to excel. And there's not a like, oh gosh, I hope she do good in that one. No, she's going to do good in it. Even if she doesn't win the actual challenge of that episode, she will always excel.
Mm-hmm.
And that person is Nymphia Wind. Now, y'all know me. I am biased towards my Saphira. I love Saphira personally. Saphira, if you watching, girl, you know I love you.
Yes. We both love you. I haven't met you yet, but I'm looking forward to the day that I do.
Right, and whichever way we go with
but
this,
I'm a fan. Yes,
we are Team Saphira.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes,
just want to make that clear.
Yes, we look out for Philly.
But I just always want to be fair on the Great Minds show with the way I rank these girls.
Yes,
and when
it is the quality of the race.
Something that Stoney says, greatness is greatness. Like, you know, you just got to acknowledge greatness. Greatness can do no wrong. And it's like, Nymphia Wind is just, and it's like, yeah, I'm rooting for my girl.
You acknowledge greatness, unless
and
I don't
have any doubt that Saphira could pull the crown. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm like, but if I'm being honest right now, Nymphia has got a tight grip upon this competition.
She has a firm grip. I would say tight because Saphira's strong. She is punching.
I feel like it's going to be a knockdown, drag out type of thing between the two of them.
But the thing about it is, like I said, yes. So Nymphia is also number one on mine. She's been number one on like she was my number one last week. She continues to be my number one. You know, and I'm going to go ahead and do my number two because we're also in line on that, which is Saphira Cristál. You know, because Saphira Cristál is punching. She is right now the second best racer in overall quality. And again, we look at the overall quality of the race. Okay. And so, you know, then we have on our sitting at number 3.
Not because we want to, but because it's just the truth.
Plain Jane. Yeah. She has been in the tops all 3 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? Much like Q, except she has a win.
Won something.
All right, she has a win.
So here's the thing: we are fair. Like love, dislike hate. When a queen is doing a good job, you're doing a good job, and Plain Jane knows what she's doing, so you can't dispute that.
All right.
Who she is as a person. So she can use a lot more of Amanda, and Amanda could use a lot more of her. Maybe that's why they go at it.
Probably, yeah.
Because I can see how they could benefit from each other a lot. So
yeah, there goes to that.
So there goes to that.
Then at number 4 we have
we have Plasma.
We have Plasma getting her first win, making that jump in my ranking. She's making that jump from that second pack. That's like, oh, those are some strong queens, but they're not in
the top.
They're not in the tops. And with this win, she has pulled up into the top 4 for me.
So doesn't that make Q one of those girls?
Now, yes, but it's different.
No. Hear me out.
Okay. Because I'm gonna give you my argument. Go ahead.
Okay. Please. If like in an episode where she didn't win against Saphira, of course it's Saphira. And it's just the first episode. The next episode, Plain Jane won. And she wasn't in that one, okay. Then the next episode, Nymphia won, and Q was in the top. Then you have this episode where Plasma won.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you didn't win against Saphira. You didn't win against Nymphia. Of course, it's Saphira and Nymphia. You didn't win against Plasma? I mean, we're being fair.
I feel what you're saying.
We're being fair here, right?
I feel what you're saying. Yes. Now, Q
is a strong performer.
Yes.
But if we're being fair, don't you have to look at it like maybe
Q
with
in
wins.
In places, yeah. In place, yes. Q has dropped into that pack of strong queens, but they're not in the tops. You know what I mean? But Q is a different animal. Part because of all the queens that are in that group, which looking at my list, I only have it as and the one queen I'm on the fence. And to be honest with you, no, it's only two. It's only two queens that I would consider in that pack of strong queens that could possibly win but aren't winning. And one of them is Q. The other one is Dawn. Yeah, and Dawn hasn't been in the tops of anything.
Yeah, and she should. She could.
She could have, But
you have to be fair even with that. Sadly,
and honestly, that's just Q and Dawn. They're the only two in that. They're the only two in that category.
Exactly. So you can't, because in my book, they're like neck and neck.
Right.
Dawn is not on the level of Saphira or Nymphia.
So, right. Q can compete on that level. That's the thing. Dawn to me hasn't shown that she can compete on that level. Q can swing with them girls. Q has proven she can swing with them girls. She's just 1 inch away from a win. 1 inch away every time, all the time.
Why can't she get that inch?
I don't know. Ru is edging us.
No. Here's my thing. Nymphia has an it factor about her. And you see what it is. It's just dripping all over her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Saphira has an it factor about her that she can't hide it if she wanted to.
Absolutely. Plain Jane.
I think I want to stop there. I think I have my final top 3.
Right, but also I think Q has that it factor with her. Plain Jane also has it too, but I don't see
Plain Jane stacking. And honestly, she got that win, but I don't see her stacking up against Q.
Right. I really don't. Honestly, but if I had to pick between the top 5 that I have with Nymphia, Saphira Crystal, Plain Jane, Plasma, and Q, if I had to pick the top 4 out of that 5 right now, most likely if I had to pick the top 3, honestly, if they said only 3 of them are going to the finals, of those 5, I'm dropping Plasma and Plain Jane.
Yeah, same.
Like, I'm sorry, I love y'all, but y'all not, you know what I mean? So, yeah. What's that?
Fun fact. Her Nymphia name is a Pokemon.
Oh, isn't that nice? So needless Japanese. To say, at the 4 spot we have Plasma. At the 5 spot we have Q, and then at the 6th spot we have Dawn. Okay, because we do love Dawn.
Yes.
All right. Now
I want to see Dawn get a win.
This is where we kind of diverge, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
sort of, because I don't think I made up my mind.
Yeah. So at the 7th spot I have Megami. Okay, and a lot of people are like, "What, Megami?" Yes. She did pretty well in the ad challenge, this week at RDR Live.
She was good.
Her runways have been pretty solid outside of, a couple of the statement pieces that really weren't necessary. But, overall, the quality of Megami's race, judging it from all 3 episodes that she was a part of, the quality of her race is a better quality race than all the people that I ranked behind her. That's my logic.
So in my 7th place, I originally had Tsunami because I actually liked Tsunami in this episode. Mm-hmm. Her acting was about as good as everyone else's in that first skit.
Right.
And then her runway was actually very good. Mm-hmm. She had a very good runway. So I was going to bump her up to 7th, but then I was brought back to reality and realized that we're not judging this list off of the episode. We're doing overall.
Mm-hmm.
And in that situation, I had to bump her. More so than just bumping her down, I had to put Megami in that spot because I think, as you said, she's been one of the most consistent.
Then the level of her consistency is
her
higher
consistency. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's
Right.
just not. If she was on, like, sorry to say this to all of you queens who won early seasons, but if she was like not episode, but on like season 5 or something like that,
right,
she would have really gone really far.
Oh yeah, we would have been like, oh my gosh, especially the thing that she's doing now. Like, yeah.
But
no.
I mean, we're on season 16, so
Right.
in that sense, it's like,
right,
it just don't work on to be top tier. Anyway, so Megami is my number 7, so let me go to my number 8, which is, this is where I had an issue because like 7, 8, and 9 between the both of us were like interchangeable based off of any small little detail. So originally my 7 was Tsunami, my 8 was Morphine Beyond Love, and my number 9 was Megami. But then when I was brought to reality, Megami had to go to 7. So I didn't know if I should, and you guys can help me out with this, if I should bump Tsunami down to 8 and bump Morphine down to 9, or just put Tsunami at 9 and keep Morphine at 8.
Now, I have Tsunami at 8. I thought Tsunami did very well this episode, and it pulled her ahead as far as the overall quality of her race, more so than Morphine did. Morphine did serviceable, but it didn't, to me, improve the overall quality of her race compared to the improvement that Tsunami made, and that I'm seeing Tsunami make on the TV. So that's how I have it. Is that I have Tsunami at 8, and then Morphine at 9, and then at number, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Morphine at 9, and then at number 10, I have a mandatory meeting. Again, love a mandatory meeting, but she's in my bottom. She's in my bottom 3
right now. She has to be, because I feel like although we see improvements, some great improvements,
right? It's just not the quality's not there.
It's not there enough for her to compete. She's definitely nowhere near competing with the top brass.
Yes, no.
The middle surfer girls, they're like, hey, you can hang with us, you just can't compete with us. And I see her improvement, but she's also number 10 for me.
Right.
And then we have, I think we agree on everything from here out.
Yeah, the bottom 2. I have Geneva Carr at number 11, and then at number 12 at Maya LePage.
All right, so if I was doing predictions, I think I would have messed up already because I would not have predicted Mirage to be going home this episode.
Right, yeah, no, I would not have pegged Mirage to go home at number 2.
2, 3, or 4, honestly. Like, there's other girls that could have gone home before her.
Yeah.
So it definitely sucks that Mirage is going so early, because she was not one of those girls. I saw her rising rather than disappearing the way she did, or falling the way she did. So 2 girls down, 12 to go.
Yeah.
Let us know who you are choosing, who you want to be.
Yeah, who are you? Are y'all team winner? Somebody already?
Yeah, let me know.
All right.
Let us know in the comments.
Now, don't get us wrong. We are Team Sapphire Cristal here. You know what I mean? We, like I said, we rep Philly all the time. Philly all day. Like what Roscoe said, Philly all day. But, like, we recognize.
Who you guys?
We recognize. On? So, well,
I can tell you now that
we co-team Nymphia.
Well, no, because I can tell, like, some of the viewers, just from me knowing them, are Team Saphira, because they're Team Philly, because we all know Saphira.
Yeah, but again, everybody that right?
And we know what she brings.
They also, but they also inhabit the land of greatness, and the folks in the land of greatness recognize greatness at the end of the day, and so I'm pretty sure they are also co-team Nymphia.
we'll go further into what this co-team thing is.
Co-team Nymphia.
But anyway, so y'all gotta just stick in there with us, see what happens next week. Next week, what are they doing?
I didn't even see the preview, so if you saw the preview and know what they're doing,
dancing or something,
put it down in the comments. I don't know. It's not Snatch Game.
It's not Snatch Game.
It's not Snatch Game.
Girl group. It's the girl group.
Oh, it's the girl group. Yeah, because I think the Spice Girls are going to be special guest judges.
Yes. Thank you,
Scary
Roscoe.
Spice. One of Eddie Murphy's baby mamas is on there next week. Yeah.
So one
Eddie Murphy coming up.
We are going to be back with another great one.
Yes.
Here at the Great Mind Show.
Yes, we are going to be back.
You got anything else you want to say to these
My Mima used to tell me. She'd be like, Lindsay, when the people are leaving, you got to tell them, thank y'all for coming and God bless you. Good night. Because if you don't, I'm going to whip your ass, Lindsay.